Hello witches, it is Luca and welcome back to my channel. So in today's speed build, we are renovating some homes in the world of Glimmerbrook that came with the game pack Realm of Magic. This pack is notorious for having some awful, I'm talking awful builds. I'm not sure what happened, who was, doing the builds, more power to them. But these were pretty rough. So I thought today we could try renovating the starter home here. And this one is just using base game and Realm of Magic. We aren't using any money cheats. And that's it. Like, we aren't going to be changing the walls up either. So the only thing I'm changing is the roofing because, dear God, the roofing was absolutely atrocious, let me tell you. This home is on the Brooks Bridge Borough lot here. Can I just say, I think this world is beautiful. I just think the execution's a little bit off. Like, you have this huge driveway here and then it's just a starter home and it's just a small lot. Like, so strange and odd, but we weren't going to focus on that. We were just focusing on the build. And it didn't take me very long to do this build because honestly, whenever you have a limited amount of simoleons, there's only so much you can do. My goal with this though was to kind of make it a little bit cottagecore, sort of, or at least the best that I could. I changed the brick color and the roof color, and that automatically made it so much nicer. I feel like all the builds, especially in this world that EA does, like a lot of them are very washed out. There's not a lot of contrast. There's not like a lot of rich colors. It's just kind of like the first swatch of a lot of things, which is kind of probably how they did things in the past. But yeah, just moving the windows around a little bit, adding a new front door. I changed up just the colors and it already looks so much better. I will say the layout of this house is a little bit interesting. It's got a hallway, which I feel like whenever I would renovate this home, like fully like move the walls around and everything to make it like for my own Sims, I would get rid of the hallway because I was like, this is just an empty room. Like, for a house this small, what's the point? Like, it's literally one bedroom, one bath. Like, I don't see the point in having a big hallway. I added a little front porch here just with some steps, nothing crazy. And honestly, that made it look a little bit nicer too. It just added some shape to this house because this house is really just 2 blocks. That's it. It's just 2 rectangular shapes just mushed together, and that helped it so much better, honestly. And yeah, I don't know why I just got into this like mode of fixing this house today, but I kind of zoned into it. Like, I had some coffee, and for some reason the coffee, it makes me focus really, really good. It doesn't really give me a lot of energy all the time, but it made me focus really well. And so during this build, that's kind of how I got through it. But changing the foundation and the flooring to this darker color really helped too, because it contrasted really well with the white, like what are they called, railings and stuff. It looks really good right now. And I didn't go crazy with landscaping either. When I say I'm not doing this with cheats, I'm not doing it with money cheats. I am using the live edit objects. It's not really cheating because these don't really give your Sims any, like, it doesn't help at all. Like, your Sims don't even acknowledge plants, so they're just decorative items. The white flowers on these plants though really just kind of stood out really well against the dark rich wood and this kind of like almost purpley reddish kind of brick as well. I thought that played together really well. And and also the video is actually slowed down to 2 times speed. I usually do 4 times. It is 2 times speed today because this build would have been like 5 minutes long. So I was like, there's nothing I could say fast enough to make sense. So the video is a little bit slower, and you know what? I kind of like it. It's kind of nice seeing the process kind of slow down and just made a little bit easier. I didn't know what to do with the pathway leading up to the house because I was like, this just doesn't make sense to me. It will never make sense to me. So I just was like, you know what? We're just going to go with it. And, but here I am looking at the interior, and I was like, first of all, we got to get rid of these lights. These lights are awful. They're just those really low hanging lights. And I'm like, that's silly. To be fair, this house did have medium wall height like walls, and I wasn't gonna leave it like that. I hate the medium wall heights in small homes because when you make small homes have high ceilings, it just makes it seem so much smaller in proportion. So lowering it to the small wall height just made it just right, and honestly, it just made it a little bit more cozy too. I was really like surprised because they didn't use the new wallpaper in every single room, because that's what I would do. Honestly, it's just, but this looked really good. And I was sacrificing some simoleons by using this expensive couch set from the base game. I do get rid of one of them later on because we needed to save some money. And yeah, it was a struggle towards the end, let me tell you, because I was really running out of simoleons. So this home is still a starter home. It's I do understand a lot of the items did depreciate as well when it comes to money, but I was like, you know what? I just want to be renovating this home as if I was just playing like a normal sim, like as a normal player who just jumped into the game. I don't want to like calculate things all that much. I just wanted to, you know, fix it up. And this is a single sim that has moved in. So if you had a sim with like say 2 sims that moved in, you would have had a little bit more to work with. But yeah, I really like the layout of the living room here. It's quite nice. It's pretty open. The windows add in a good amount of light. I really like the Realm of Magic windows, honestly, especially these. They have a nice shape, and you can do like rounded ones if you want. You can do just straight rectangular, and you can do a mix and match of them. They're really nice, and honestly, they're useful for a number of builds, not just like these kinds of like magical-esque builds. The kitchen was a little bit of an issue for me at first because I was like, okay, this layout is really weird. I didn't like how the counters were right up against the windows, and yeah, it just was a little bit fussy, but I did figure it out in the end. I kind of made it a little bit of a different layout than this. I really like this galley kitchen kind of vibe, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna, you know, make it a corner kitchen and just go with that. It's a starter home, so it's not meant to be perfect, but and I did try in this build to kind of utilize the furniture that was already there, but a lot of it was not nice looking, and it didn't make sense. That's something I wish that with all the expansion packs, game packs, etc., I wish they would be a little bit more aware of people, you know, using starter home stuff, if that makes sense, like having less budget with your Sims. I don't know how to say that properly, but you know what I mean. Like, I wish that every pack came with like a starter set, if that makes sense, so that whenever you had a starter home in the new world, say Glimmerbrook, you had some items that were fairly inexpensive. Like, it would be cool if, you know, obviously we won't get kitchen sets every time, like counters are a pain in the butt to make apparently, but something like a new like sink or just something that was inexpensive. I don't know, just something. Maybe it's asking too much for EA to actually add a good amount of stuff in their you know, packs and make it a rich experience instead of just a tiny cash grab. But you know, that's to each their own. Everybody's opinion is valid on that, I guess. And I wanted to use these Realm of Magic, what do you call them, chairs, and I think I was going to, but I was like, no, I don't want to sacrifice too many simoleons. We were already getting a little bit down to like 500 here, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm struggling. And then it got to 380 because I wanted a new table, and I was like, wow, okay. This kitchen looks really nice though. I'm really happy with it. It's a lot brighter than it was. I feel like even though I didn't change a whole lot about it, it really helped it kind of flow nicer. And see what I mean? Look at this hallway. It is so unnecessary. You could have easily just had it be like a little bit less open, like made the bedroom a little bit bigger and then had a smaller hallway. And I don't know, there's ways to do it. And, you know, I guess they just had a different prerogative. At this point though, I was struggling because I realized, I was like, oh gosh, I was noticing the depreciation in all the objects. So I was like, well, this bed is not really working because it's just a very modern bed. It doesn't look good. I don't like it. And not that it looks bad, it's just this is supposed to be like a cottagecore magical home. So I went with a little bit more of an expensive bed. They didn't get nightstands, sadly, but you know, it's fine. It's a starter home. It's not supposed to have everything. You're supposed to build your way up whenever you get a starter home. And yeah, I did change up the wallpaper. I was gonna try to make it like the nicer wallpaper that we got, but I wanted to save simoleons, so I kept it for the bathroom. And the bathroom, you know, I didn't really do a lot of change to be honest. There really wasn't a whole lot that I could do at this point. They had 51 simoleons, so I was like, well, looks like I'm gonna have to get rid of this love seat. That made sense. So they had a few more simoleons to work with here in the bathroom, and I just gave them a new sink because that one I don't know, I just wanted to make it look a little less modern, contemporary, suburban. You know, I wanted it to look a little bit more magical, but at this point it didn't really matter because I didn't have any simoleons left. So I did give them this bathtub initially, but I was like, well, the shower is just better. So I just added some decor in here. I did use the OMSP shelf by Picture Amoeba. I will leave that linked in the description here. I actually just used it to clutter up the surface of the bathroom sink. I love that shelf. You could do that with a lot of different shelves. There is some shelves in like Dream Home Decorator, but if you just have the base game and you can use mods, this is like the smallest mod that you don't even have to leave in your builds whatsoever. It does have an invisible swatch though, so if you want to leave it, you can. But it's a really handy little shelf that you know, this creator made, and yeah, it's just really handy because it has so many slots and like all the different clutter objects clipped to it, and it's just really, really handy. That is basically it for today's build though. I know it's pretty simple, but if you want to download this home, you can check it out on the gallery under my username Luca Owens. That is LuccaOwens, as well as the hashtag Luca. It is LUCCA, and yeah, it comes in under 20k. So yeah, that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments down below, and that is everything. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I will speak to you all next time. Goodbye, my friends.